Welcome to today's episode of Heard and Seen Around. I am Rajesh Karipurath. This is my take on macroeconomic and geoeconomic data points, which I find interesting. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
I am free of all prejudice. I hate everyone equally. W.C. Fields. If you don't know where you are going, any road will get you there. I love deadlines. I love the whooshing noise they make as they go by. My idea of housework is to sweep the room with a glance. Be yourself, everyone else is already taken.
Here's the uncomfortable math. Just 10 companies now drive nearly 40% of the S&P 500. Add potential heavyweights like private AI and space giants, that could creep towards 50%. So while it looks like diversification in reality, your broad market bet is increasingly a mega cap tech bet in disguise. When the giants rally, everything feels great. When they stumble, the whole index suddenly remembers gravity. This is not diversification, it's concentration wearing a very convincing costume. Zoom out, and this isn't just mining data, it's geopolitical leverage in raw form. China dominates the supply of critical minerals that power everything from EV batteries to semiconductors and missiles. That means the global economy isn't just energy dependent anymore, it's mineral dependent and heavily concentrated. Any export curves, trade tensions, or policy shifts can ripple straight into inflation, production bottlenecks, and national security concerns. Diversification is a buzzword, but building mines takes years and not just tweets. Until then, the world's green transition runs through Beijing's supply chain. Across the board, inflation looks surprisingly well behaved. Most major economies are hovering in the 1 to 3% comfort zone. Central bankers might even dare to smile. But here's the catch. This calm is fragile. Energy prices, supply chains, and geopolitics are all quietly lining up in the background. One shock and this neatly arranged table could turn into a much messier scoreboard. Markets are already sniffing it out because inflation does not trend, it jumps. And when it does, rate cut dreams tend to disappear fast. Across India's major states, the math is simple and slightly alarming. Almost everyone is spending more than they earn. Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, even the fiscally disciplined ones are running gaps. This isn't just reckless, it's structural. Welfare, subsidies, and capex are all rising, while revenues struggle to keep pace. The result? Persistent deficits quietly becoming the norm. Markets don't panic immediately, but over time, higher borrowing costs means higher interest costs, and less room to spend where it actually matters. In short, today's growth push could become tomorrow's fiscal squeeze. Strip away the noise, and India's external story looks surprisingly solid. Debt to GDP ratio at just 19%, Forex reserves covering 94% of that debt, and a comfortable 10 months of import cover. That's a far cry from past crisis playbooks. Low short-term debt, higher buffers, and better resilience to global shocks, even with West Asia tensions in the mix. Translation: the rupee may wobble, but the foundation isn't fragile anymore. This isn't immunity, but it is insulation. As Nassim Taleb said, stability is not the absence of volatility, but the presence of resilience. India's aviation story is a classic case of scale versus strain. Indigo dominates with sheer pilot strength, while SpiceJet leads on pilot-to-aircraft efficiency. And that's where the smooth ride ends. Cancellations are creeping up and baggage complaints have basically doubled. Translation: demand is booming faster than operations can keep up. Airlines are stretching fleets, crews, and systems, and passengers are starting to feel the turbulence on the ground.